Thank you. So I hope you can be able to hear me now. So yes, good. So we said that the audit objective or audit planning, these are the strategies adopted by the auditor in order to achieve the audit objective. And we said the main or the primary audit objective, the primary audit objective is to what? Is to express opinion, is to express opinion, is to express opinion. That is the main or the primary responsibility of the auditor, is to do what? To express an opinion. So they will express an opinion whether the financial statements are what? Are true and fair. Are true and fair. They will express an opinion whether the financial statements are true and fair. That's so for the auditor to achieve this, all of this, they must have what is called the audit planning. This audit planning, it has the audit program also. It has the audit program. It has the audit program. And when we defined what is an audit program, so what is an audit program in your view? Have you heard of something called audit program? Yes. So audit program is a files which document all these stages or the strategies. So it documents the strategies. It documents the strategies. If you have done the practical audit, we have our audit program as one of the working papers. One of the working papers. So when we defined an audit program, so you can define an audit program, and say is a breakdown, is a breakdown of all the audit work, the breakdown of all the audit work, that could be carried out, that could be carried out. It set out the breakdown of all the audit work that could be carried out. That is what is called the audit program. That is what is called the audit program. This audit program also, it has the content. So we have what is called content of audit program. Which examiner can't ask you to give the content of audit program? The content of audit program. So the first content of audit program is the name and address of the what? An address of the audit firm, audit firm. That is the name and address of the audit firm, which it is the one which they carry out the audit assignment. Number two, you need to have the the name and address of the client. Name and address of the what? Of the client company. Of the client company. You need to have the address. You need to have the address and the name of the what? The client company. The client company. That is the second content of the audit program. That is the second content of audit program. The third content of audit program is the financial period covered by the financial period covered. I know you have done what is called assertion. Which assertion we use as auditors to ascertain the financial period of the company? Which assertion can we use? Or we don't even know what is assertion. So what is assertion, my audit student? What is assertion? What is assertion in audit? What is assertion in audit? So assertion in audit is what? Representation. Say this one are the representation made by management. Made by management in the financial statement. In the financial statement. So kindly, if you want to communicate, you can communicate through the chat. I'm not able to get you through the voice. So can raise any questions through the chat. So we said assertion is the representation made by management in the financial statement, because who is the responsible in preparing the financial statement? It is the management, not the auditor. So you have to differentiate who is the responsible in preparing the books of account. So it is the management. So the management, they have to provide us the period which covered by this representation in the financial management. And that assertion, najua tu nimekupeleka mbali, but the assertion we call the cutoff. The cutoff. So the assertion is called the cutoff. So we use the cutoff to ascertain the financial period covered by financial statement. Covered by the financial statement. Then another feature of the content of audit program is the name of item being audited, or the subject matter. We said the name of the item being audited. The name of the item being audited. In bracket, call it the subject matter. In bracket, call it the subject matter. In bracket, call it the subject matter. Remember, when carrying out the audit, you don't just wake up and say, we will go to do an audit of ABC company. Yes, we are going to do audit for ABC company. What are you going to test in that ABC company? That's what we refer as item, or the subject matter. If we are going to do an audit of stocks, so that is the subject matter. Or we are going to do a procurement, the audit of procurement, specifically for quotation. Specifically for quotation. And then we have another one called the specific audit procedures to be carried out. Number 5 is the specific audit procedures. Audit procedures to be what? To be carried out. Specific audit procedures to be carried out. Specific audit procedures be carried out. So we need also to know the audit procedures we are going to use. And then the audit objective. Namba ngapi? Audit objective. Audit objective. Audit objective. And then we have the audit finding and conclusion. I think the next number. So don't lose the track. We are still on audit program. We are still on audit program. We said, so we are audit program, audit planning, but audit program. Audit program. So we said that we need to find the audit finding. Audit finding. Audit finding. I don't know it is number ngapi. So make sure that you are numbering audit finding. Also, we need to know the date, or we have already carried to that date. So that makes the content of what? Audit program. That is the content of audit program. Now the examiner might ask you, write a sample. You are going to carry out an audit of ABC company, and then they can test the specific item you are going to test, and then they will ask you to prepare an audit program. Prepare an audit program. So how will you prepare the audit program? So all these should be included in your audit program. All these should be included in your audit program. For example, a sample of audit program should look like this. So you will have ABC company. We have been told we need the name and address of the company. So you can say ABC company, which this is the client company. Give the address of that, and then come here, say We can call it Gilsam and Advocate and Company, and then give the address there. So now we are giving the address. We are giving the address of the audit firm and the client company and the client company. From there, you give an audit or the audit date here is say audit test. So you will need the audit or the audit date here or the cutoff. Give the cutoff, and then you say this cutoff is maybe for January, 1st January, to 1st April 2024. Maybe that is you are doing a quarter audit or a continuous audit, and then from here now is where you will have number one, the audit test. So the audit test, number one, we are going to carry out, so let's have the subject matter. The subject matter, maybe you can squeeze Mali. The subject matter is we are going to carry out the audit of financial statement. So assuming it is an external audit, financial statement. So in the financial statement, the audit test here we're going to use number one. The audit test is accuracy. So in this accuracy, you have to split in this. Which audit procedure are we going to use? Which audit procedures are we going to use? So you have to write the audit procedure. After writing the audit procedure, you have to write the audit finding, and then there you give the recommendation. Give the recommendation or observation. So maybe you can't, because of the space, so you will give observation and the recommendation there. So when we say the accuracy, which audit procedure are you going to use for accuracy? So we'll use recalculation or recalculate. We'll say recalculate the, for example, the pay to ascertain the accuracy, or to ascertain the accuracy. That is the audit procedure. So what did you find here? So maybe we find that there is what? Understated or overstated value, compare with ITAX, overstated value compare with ITAX. That is your example of finding that you do a recalculation of the pay, but you find that the value in the payroll is being overstated with the value in the ITAX, So that is your audit finding and observation. And then recommendation. What do you recommend? So you recommend maybe to do what is called the amendment return. Amendment the return. So that could be your recommendation. So that is the one of the example of the audit program, But all these audit program will be programmed either Excel or Word or any other document which you are using for audit program. So that makes the end of the content of audit program. Then we can look at the types of audit program. The types of audit program. A lot of charts here. So the audit program, so you can write the types of audit program. The types of audit program. So number one is the standard audit program. So we have what is called the standard. Number one, we have what is called the standard audit program. The standard audit program. So this standard audit program, you don't change. So it is being there, you use it on a yearly basis, but there is no any amendment. So you say these are prepared by audit program, by the audit firm to be used for audit. So it is being prepared, by audit firm to be used in audit, so you don't change this one. It is a standard one. And then we have number 2, what is called the progressive audit program. A progressive audit program. So progressive audit program is that as you carry out the audit, you realize that there's some procedures or the risk which you didn't identify during the audit planning. But now you want to rectify your audit program so that you can accommodate these changes. Then you will be using what is called the progressive audit program. So you say these are audit programs that are allowed to develop an audit progress. And then the auditor uses his personal skills and judgment to determine the procedure. So this one is say auditor uses his skills and experience to determine is what? A judgment. Determine his judgment, because he has to be amending each and every time there is a change in audit program. There's a change in audit program. So that's what called the progressive audit program. So you need to differentiate the two. Examiner can ask you to differentiate between the two. So that will make the end of audit planning. We have already tumeshaanza, but I don't know why students are joined. So we already have the student for audit, but they have not joined, so they will get the video. So we will not repeat again this. So the next is now the business risk. The business risk, or what is called the detection risk errors and fraud in an organization, or the approach. If you look at your syllabus, you need to cover the audit risk. So we have the audit risk, definition of the audit risk, the component of the audit risk, and what is called the risk-based audit. So that's what you need to know in the topic of audit risk. The topic of audit risk. So our videos are being aired through the YouTube. So you can, there after this class, you can go and rewatch the videos. But you can also be watching on a regular basis on our website so that you can prepare for your exam. So we have what is called the audit risk. So in this audit risk, examiner wanted you to know the definition of audit risk. After definition of audit risk, also examiner needs you to understand the components of audit risk. The component of audit risk, and after components, you need to know the risk-based audit. Risk-based audit. So what is a risk? So in a layman's term, a risk is something that will prevent you from achieving what you want or your objectives. So that is the risk, the definition of risk in a layman language. So if you are in a business, we have several risks. Might have the financial risk, operational risk, and compliance risk. Those are the types of risk you are in business. So also in audit, we have the risk, audit risk, of the audit risk. So we can define the audit risk or the audit risk approach. So when we talk of audit risk approach, is that the chances that the auditing, so the definition of audit risk or audit risk approach, audit risk approach, audit risk approach in audit is that these are the risk approach or the chances that the audit will give an inappropriate opinion. So it is the chances, it is the chances that approach will give inappropriate, how do we write inappropriate opinion? Inappropriate opinion. Inappropriate opinion. So when we say the correct opinion which an auditor should give is unqualified opinion, not qualified opinion, unqualified opinion. That is the best opinion. So if you adopt wrong approach or you use the wrong strategies or you have limitation to access to the what? The maybe books of account to interview the company's staffs, that you will end up giving inappropriate opinion. You will end up giving inappropriate opinion, which this inappropriate opinion, it is risk, not only to the company, but also to the investors of the company. Remember, in a company, tuko na parties. We have several parties in a company. Tuko na shareholders, tuko na owners, we have the investors, and they all depend with the what? The audit report. The audit report. So if you give a negative opinion, then you might chase away the investors because you are giving, the investors will say the future of this company is not likely to give us the maximum return, is not to give us the maximum return. So, and when we say it, you give the inappropriate opinion is that that the financial statement will be what? Will be materially stated. Will be materially stated. The financial statement will be materially stated. And then now we have the audit components or the audit risk component. The audit risk component. Audit risk component. Audit risk components. Number one, we have the inherent risk. We have inherent risk in H. Inherent risk. We have detection risk. And number three, we have the control risk. We have the control risk. We have the control risk. So these are the risks which we need to understand before going to exam room. So when we say inherent, it is something that emanates or it is coming within. It is something that is coming within. So that's what we call the inherent risk. Inherent risk. So it is the risk which come within the company. In the company. It is the risk which come in the company. So we can say this is susceptibility of the account balances. That is for inherent risk. Inherent risk. We say this is an susceptible, this what? Or account being exposed to the irregularities of what? Account balance, of account balances, either individual or aggregated, either individual or aggregated, either individual or aggregated. And also you say this risk arise from the characteristic of item or from the general business environment. So another point you say this risk arises from the characteristic of the item, the characteristic of the item on the general business environment, on the general business risk environment. So it is coming from the business itself, or the environment of the business, environment of the business. So we have a lot of the audit risk here, example of those audit risk, and then we have the detection risk. Detection risk, we have what is called detection risk. Detection risk. So detection risk is these are the chances that the audit procedures, these are the chances, these are chances that the audit procedure, the audit procedures will fail, the audit procedure will fail to detect material misstatement, to detect material misstatement. So who developed the audit procedure? It is the auditor. So if the audit procedures are being developed by the auditor will fail to detect the material misstatement, then that will be what? Detection risk, the detection risk. So a good example of maybe the auditor might not be able to detect the material misstatement is where the accountant has overvalued certain account balances. So auditor accountant overvalued that certain balances, and the audit procedure will not able to detect that, then be classified as detection risk, the detection risk. So why so what are the ways or the chances which give rise to this detection risk? It is because of what? If we have the auditors who lack the experience, lack of experience. So lack of experience. Another one is maybe you didn't understand the company well, or lack of the client, lack of understanding the client business. If you don't understand the client business very well, then you end up drafting the audit procedure, which will not be able to capture all the audit risk of the client. So you must understand the nature and the business of the what? Of the client. Also, you need to understand the client system. You need to understand the client system so that you can develop an appropriate audit procedure and procedures, because a person who uses QuickBooks will not be the same with a person who uses the the ERPs. So you will not find that the audit procedure it will not be the same. So you will find that for ERPs, there are more controls. So that it means the internal control or IAS are strong compared to a person using a QuickBook. Because QuickBook, there is not a lot of internal control. So your audit program will not be the same. Your audit program will not be the same. And then we have what is called the control risk. The control risk. We have what is called the control risk. And right here, the control risk. Control risk. Control risk. So in this control risk, you can say this is the chances that materially misstatement will occur in accounts, and the control in place will not be able to prevent. So you said that these are what? Chances that material misstatement will occur and the ICS or the internal control put in place will not be able to prevent or detect not be able to prevent or detect. So because that is a control risk, you are in a position to control it, but now you didn't manage to control because of what? Weak internal control system. Because of weak internal control system. So if you have weak internal control system, automatically we will incur a control risk. You will incur risk which you could have controlled, but you didn't manage to control. So it is because of what? The week of ICS, the ICS. So I think for today we can stop from there, and then we will continue with our classes. So we normally have our class on Friday. For audit, we only have one session, but remember the audit is something which can do it faster. So you can also watch our videos, and also if you want to join our blog classes, also have blogs and the normal classes. So Sharon, are you doing CPA this semester? So you can chat, not to be able to communicate here. So Sharon, are you doing So I'm saying that at least we have covered this. You have a student for ATB, ATB3. I don't know why mbona hawajaingia class. Wanakaa, they are very lazy. So they don't know that we are remaining with wanaandika kwa group. Wako mbali. So if you wish to join our class, and then you can still join our class, we still have more to cover. We still have the audit evidence, still have the ICS, we also still have the audit reports. So unafanya all the units in ADD3 because we have the AMA, FOF, and so we have FOF on Monday. We have MA on Wednesday, and Friday we have the audit. So economic, we don't teach economic, tunapeana notes kwa economics. Tunapeana notes kwa economics. So ukitaka kujoin our class, maybe can reach out through this number. Let me give you the number. Then we will communicate from there. 3717 618798. So you can WhatsApp that number, and then we'll show you the programs of our class. So thank you so much, and then you've been in class all along. Ama umejoin tu na confused na another Sharon. So where is the country? Share link through all the WhatsApp group, huwezi jua ni nani amejoin. Okay, so taki tuendelee sana juu ya country na yuko, then tutafanya kutuma videos, but tumekuwa wa class throughout. I think Catherine ndio watachukua for videos. So maybe you can have the past paper, look at what has been tested for audit risk, the inherent risk, and also the audit program. So you can have your past paper, uangalie the examiner ametest gani, examiner ametest nini. Iko na the old past paper, kuna all the past paper. Ukiangalia May 2021, ukiangalia May 2021 umeulizwa question 2, give 6 content of audit planning. 6 content of audit planning. Ukiangalia question 2B, ambiwa audit risk is the risk that the auditor express an inappropriate audit opinion. That is May 20. May 20. So we can still revise. I thought the student mwenye akwangi kwa class, that's why sikuwa nataka niendelee sana. So ni Catherine peke yake ndio hajajoin. So ukiangalia that question umeulizwa, that is May 2021. Question 2B. May 2021, question 2B. May 2021, question 2B. So umeulizwa, the audit risk is the risk that the auditor express an inappropriate audit opinion when the financial statements are materially stated. The financial statements are materially stated. Required. Summarize 3 types of audit risk. Summarize 3 types of audit risks. That is 3 marks. Summarize types of what? Of audit risk. Audit risk. So utasema inherent. You list first inherent, and then we have detection, and we have the control risk, and we have the control risk. And then B anakuuliza examine for benefits that could accrue to a firm that undertake risk classification. Examine for benefit that could accrue to a firm that undertake the risk classification. So what could be the benefits of the company which undertake risk classification? Risk classification. So the risk classification is this one. This is the risk classification, or kama finance, operation, and compliance risk. So any benefit which we accrue this audit firm when they classify this audit risk is that they will get appropriate solution, or the recommendation. Also, they can't do what? They can't get whether these, if they group these risks, they will be know whether to amend or adjust the what? Their financial statement, whether it will help them to adjust the financial statement. That's why in audit to kuna what is called subsequent event, or adjusting event and non-adjusting event. So if the auditor classify this risk very well, they can do what? They can help them to adjust the financial statement. They can adjust the financial statement. The financial statement. So hiyo ilikuwa May 2021 ATD number 3. So make sure that tunatumia these past papers ku revise. So ukichukua past paper una revise. So utapata, it will be very easy to remember. So hapo there is another question here. November 2019, question 2B. Bryant Macho has recently joined your firm due to his long experience in auditing field. Dismisses the need for audit planning in conducting an audit. Required, explain how audit planning assists in the conduct of an audit. So explain how audit planning will assist in the conduct of an audit planning. That is 6 marks. So That is the benefit or the importance of audit planning. The benefit or the importance of audit planning. I hope tulifanya ama hatukuifanya, tuliandika hiyo. Did we write the benefit of audit planning? So hizi risk inaulizwa sana. Discuss 3 components of audit risk. Okay. So we can stop there. We will pick from next ICS. So hii audit tutaimaliza mapema. So tukimaliza ICS, even though ni kubwa, tunaenda audit evidence and report. Hii cuts ni kidogo tu, small elements. So I hope also unaisoma hizo notes because I shared the notes which najua iko more detail. It is good also to ukiwa class una make some summarized note because it might not be the same as zile notes nilishare. So make sure. Unless kuna swali. No questioned. No questioned, but me niko na questioned. Have you done I left the question for OS na MA. But sijaona mkituma. So make sure that you watch the previous videos na uangalie tuliacha questions gani, then you do it.